Hello my YouTube people, this is your boy Big Brother Motown aka Sean G coming back to you with another video, and I'm calling this one Why I Bought It and Why I'm Keeping It. Now, as many of you may know, gas is a very real thing in the production community. It's gear acquisition syndrome, and we all know that that's the phenomenon where musicians and producers, we want to just buy more stuff and buy more stuff and buy more stuff just because it's available. And I made myself a promise years ago that I would avoid gas and not make any purchases unless I absolutely needed to. They were required for me to advance my studio. So that's a standard that I've tried to uphold throughout the years, and it has admittedly saved me a lot of money. So I'm going to start this video off today over here with my keyboards. This is the first keyboard I ever purchased, Roland XP80. I bought it used from a friend of mine, and the reason why I bought it was because I was looking to get into production. I had been a singer and a songwriter for many years. I was trying to get into production side of it, so I decided, let me get a workstation keyboard and start making music. And this was available at the time. He was selling it. I bought it. Great board. I done at least one or two maybe albums on it, and it was really good for what it was at that particular time. If any of you know, this board was a staple in the 80s, early 90s, and a lot of professional music was done with it by well-known artists. The reason why I'm keeping it is because there are sounds in here that sonic quality is just different from these boards. It hits different than the ones that are being made today. Let me zoom in here. You can see I have the hip-hop card and the orchestral card in here. And if you knew anything about this board, this was the card you wanted to have back in the day. It had a lot of great sounds on it, and some of those sounds rival even the newer keyboards that are coming out today. The second keyboard on my list is the Roland Phantom X6. Now, the reason why I bought it was because I needed a sampler. This keyboard, the XP80, didn't have a sampler, but this one did. I was looking to get into sampling. The very first song I actually did on this keyboard, I used a sample from Tony's Anniversary. It was one of my favorite songs. Why I'm keeping it is because it has a lot of great functionality that was cutting edge at the time. This was one of the first boards to feature the D-Beam. This was also, if I'm not mistaken, the first keyboard released that had skip back sampling, which is a feature that will let you record something that you already played and be able to capture it back into the sequencer as an audio file. Really great piece of ingenuity. Also, another thing that I like that this board has is something called chord memory. If I push this chord memory button, if I hit shift and chord memory, this screen right here comes up. This is a screen that will tell you every chord and how to play it. So you got C6, C major 7, and you can see the red spots on the keyboard that show you how to actually play the chord. This is very useful for me as a budding musician trying to learn how to play keyboards. It was very helpful to me as far as finding certain scales and being able to play them. So this feature also was removed on the Phantom G after this and has not been added back, to my knowledge, to any other Roland Phantom keyboard. So this is really a great feature that I use as a learning tool, and it's one of the reasons why I'm keeping it. The third on the list is the Korg Kronos down here. Now, this is a beast of a board. I will admit that I kind of fell victim to a little bit of the gear lust when I bought this. I hadn't purchased a new piece of equipment in quite some time. I wanted something new. The reason why I bought it was because this particular board had two things that stood out to me. Karma, which is like an arpeggiator on steroids. And I also got this particular model, which is the Kronos X with the expanded hard drive. I got the 73 key version because I wanted fully weighted keys, but I didn't want the 88 key keyboard. And this keyboard was the only one that had fully weighted keys in a 73 key version. So that was one of the reasons why I bought this. It also features 16-track sequencer plus 16 audio tracks. So this is a beast of a board. Why I'm keeping it is because it just has sounds. Right now, it's a great live board. When I do gigs, very rarely, it has a lot of great sounds in it. The organs in this board rival any live organ that I've ever heard. Korg really does their organs right. And it just has a lot of great sound. So right now in the studio, I have it relegated to controller duty. It's a controller for my setup as well as a sound module, and Karma is still a beast. So that's one of the reasons why I'm using it, why I'm keeping it, I should say. This keyboard is some of the best hardware you'll find. Unfortunately, the operating system, I hate it. But as far as hardware, you can't beat it. So that's why I'm keeping it. Next on the list is this. This is my latest addition to the family, the Akai MPCX. Now, I had never used an Akai product before. Out of all these years of production, 30 years I've been in production, had never used one. Back in 2020, I said, you know what, let me see what all the fuss is about, because I had been hearing people talk about them over the years, and I was like, whatever you can do on this, I can do on a keyboard workstation, which I could. Swing included. But I finally just took the leap. I said, let me buy it. I bought it, and I'm very pleased. This is without a doubt the best sequencer I've ever used, bar none. It's a workhorse of a machine. You already know about it. I don't got to go into a whole lot of details about what it does. If you're watching this video, you probably know full well what it does. The Q links are a godsend. That's one of the reasons why I didn't buy the MPC1 or the MPC Live, is because I'm like, hey, go big or go home. If I'm gonna get something, I'm gonna get the granddaddy. So this is what I got. I love it. It does everything I needed to do, and it controls everything in my studio. I can sequence all of my gear using it, and it's a great piece. So that's why I'm keeping it. I'll never get rid of that. Another piece in the why I'm keeping it, why I bought it series is this, the Mackie Big Knob. Now, the Big Knob is just a useful tool. I bought it because I had two sets of monitors, which you can see I got the Mackies and the Yammies over there. That's why I bought it. But the reason why I'm keeping it is because it's just downright useful. To be able to hook two sets of monitors. I have an A monitor, a B monitor, and the C monitor is for my subwoofer down there, the Rocket. And it's just useful. I'll never get rid of it. It's great for switching sources, and it has, one of the reasons why I purchased it was because it had talkback functionality, which the next piece that I'm going to show you did not have. And that next piece is this. My Korg D32XD. Now, I've already done a separate video on this as far as what it does. You guys know this is a 32-track hardware sequencer. The reason why, not sequencer, I'm sorry, hardware recorder. The reason why I bought it was because I needed 32 tracks at the time. Yamaha didn't have a 32-track recorder. Tascam didn't have a 32-track recorder. Korg was the first one to come out with a 32-track hard disk recorder. That's why I bought it. The reason why I'm keeping it is because it still works flawlessly to this day. The touchscreen is amazing. The functionality is vast. It has built-in effects. It has, you got your inputs, your mic inputs up there with phantom power. You got your line inputs. It's got built-in effects. It's got built-in analog compression on the input, as well as all type of effects. It's got mastering effects. You can go straight from finished or beginning product all the way to finished CD right here in the unit. And so this thing works just as flawlessly as it does the day I bought it. So what I do is I'll do my production first, then I'll dump all my tracks over into the hard disk recorder as audio, and then I'll lay my vocals on top of it and do the final production that way. So this is just a brief video about why I have some of the stuff that I have, why I bought it and why I'm keeping it. Hopefully you can stay away from gas. Don't let it get you. This is your boy, Big Brother Motown, signing out.